Welcome back to my channel. This is Abigail. Who am I? I'm 37 years old that finally resigned and quit working to focus on the rental apartment business. And today I will be talking about how did I start the actual business and what are the costs involved. So 4 years ago, I actually started this business as an idea on my mind. And on top of my loan for around 30,000, I asked my dad to finance some of the amounts, and I opened up my first apartment rental business. It was thrilling and exciting at the same part because it's my first time to do something that's not usual. But somehow I have less knowledge on doing it after speaking to one friend who's actually been doing this business for such a long time in Dubai. First, how much capital is needed? Let me remind that this business is not for the ones that wants quick, rich money and profit. That would comes out after 3 to 4 apartments. But if you are having just one apartment in Dubai, treat this as your living space where you get free rent. And that's how I approach my first apartment rental business. First, let's talk about the capital that's needed. Back 4 years was not the same amount that you will be needing today. Why? It's because the market now has been evolved, especially in the area of Riga. There, the business is so saturated where all people are doing it. Real estate market has already gone to its peak to know how this business works. I spent almost 35,000 back then. That is inclusive of everything, if I would say. There were 2 types of buildings here in Dubai. One that is family building, and one is a sharing building. The first thing that you need to do is to find a building that actually allows partition. You will speak to them, you will tell them that you wanted to do this business. You will have an agreement, and that's how you can make it proper with your real estate company. Some of the real estate companies are not allowed. They do under the table. For that, you have to be very careful. There were some people who's doing it at risk involved into their part. That if a real estate call out to vacate the flat because they find out that you're doing the partition business, all your investment will go to loss. Once you find the building or once you find the flat that has a really good location, so most here in Dubai, people are looking for the one that's near the metro because of the weather during summer. So if you find some apartment that's near the metro, then it's good. Then next thing is you have to call a partition maker. Partition maker is the one that builds the actual room. So for this, usually it will cost around 1,300 back then per door. So it depends. Once you bring him into the apartment, he will analyze how many partition rooms I can make from this flat. So the more is the better, but the more rooms will be more tenants and more people that you would have to serve in your apartment, which I will talk about into the next video, why I choose to have less people in my apartment. Next is setting up your apartment. So once the partition maker has finished every work in the said unit, so once the partition maker have finished all his work in the said unit, then it's time for you to put the appliances, the beds, and the mats. This is a very exciting part for me because I love interior designing. So this is the time where I put a theme on my apartment that I am opening up. And this is very important because this will prepare you towards the next step of the business, which is marketing. You want to create a vibe that the client will feel like, okay, I wanted to live here. It's not just an apartment that you just opened. You must create a personal touch to it. Fourth will be marketing. So marketing is something that I have gone through the very first before I set up the business. I check on Facebook what are the types of partition in Dubai and how they're doing it. We are not talking about 3 people doing it. We're talking about hundreds back then and now maybe thousands of people doing this business. So the competition is high. Then you need to create a lot of things, something that is actually unique out there, so the people would consider you to be their next owner. Finding a good tenants will be your ultimate cash flow because As long as you have a good tenants that pays the rent, then you will not end up negative each month. So if you have one apartment, consider this as your living space where you get free rent. And that's what my advice. If you have one apartment solely, live there, give the other space for rent, and that would save you from renting in Dubai. Probably you're renting 1,500 to 2,000 dirham partition. Then you open up this business and get the free rent. Someone will pay for your dewa, someone will pay for your utilities, and this is really a good saving money that you can start towards profiting and using the profit to the next investment that you want. This is really good because once you save the money from your rent, then you can save that money up. If you have extra cash, you can actually complete towards your next apartment that you would be wanting to get. Thank you for watching. Next video, I will talk about the challenges that I had faced during when I was starting this business, because that time I was new to the market. I don't know anything. So getting a mentor is not something that I had thought about back then. So I was doing everything all by myself. I had a lot of challenges along the way, but somehow it worked out. There are fears that arise during when I was starting. The moment I open up my apartment for viewing, there's always a fear that what if these apartments won't get full, or what if my tenants won't pay me on time. These are always comes along when you're starting a new business. And next video, I will talk about how did I manage to deal with those challenges. So I hope to see you next time, guys, and good luck.